Bootcamp is about to begin. Rise up, it's time to log in. LP Army will teach you the way to be LP warrior starting today. We live for the fees we make. Soon it is profits that you will take. The LP Army marches strong. The best in soul and now we sing our song. We live for the fees we make. Soon it is profits that you will take. The LP Army marches strong. The best in soul and now we sing our song. We are LP Army, rise to the sky. Dynamic fees, our battle cry. LP warriors will never die. Their own we will fly. Rise, new soldiers, rise. Rise, new soldiers, rise. Spot, copy, ask, use them all. Winning's the task, we heed the call. Bootcamp, join our ranks so tight. Listen to the Goose Gang and gain your might. We will print and we will earn. Break through dangers, tokens burn. Join the ranks of the brave and bold. Story of the LP Army told. We are LP Army, rise to the sky. Dynamic fees, our battle cry. LP warriors will never die. Their own we will fly. Rise, new soldiers, rise. Rise. Take the course and earn your role. March with us and earn some soul. Dodge the rug and join the fight. We gain together LP Army might. Make your position and join the pool. Post your wings with Alex's tool. LP Army, we fight to win. Your journey is about to begin. We are LP Army, rise to the sky. Dynamic fees, our battle cry. LP warriors will never die. Their own we will fly. Rise, new soldiers, rise. Take the course and earn your role. March with us and earn some soul. Dodge the run and join the fight. We gain together LP Army might. Oh.
GMet, guys. Welcome to the LP Army Bootcamp Day 2. I am joined once again by Photon Magic, and I may have some other instructors joining us, such as Rich King, some others. Yeah, let's get right into it. Again, just our disclaimer. We're not financial professionals. This is not financial advice. Don't risk any money you can't afford to lose. Do your own research, all that good stuff. This course is for educational purposes only. We want you to get the most out of this course. Feel free to ask your questions in chat, and our assistant instructors will help you out. You must complete both days of this course in order to graduate, and we welcome your feedback. And I just wanted to clear up a little bit of confusion that some people have had concerning graduation and roles. So this is it. If you passed day one yesterday, you passed the test, you're going to get the bootcamp trainee role in the Meteora Discord. If you pass day one and day two, you will get the LP Army private role in both the Meteora Discord and the LP Army Discord. If you do not pass day one, I'm so sorry, you don't get anything. Even if you pass day two, if you don't pass day one, you will not graduate. So I hope that's clear to everybody. That's how this works. Okay, here's our bootcamp resources once again. You can scan this QR code. It's extra reading, documentation, key DeFi terms. We shared this yesterday. So here it is again. Give you guys just a moment to scan that if you need it. And Rich King has joined us. Welcome, Rich. So yeah, thank you. And we will move on. So today, first thing I'm going to talk about is surviving and thriving in LP. The best way to do this is have a method, have a plan. Don't just do this randomly. Decide how you want to approach it, what you want to do, and then practice that. Test and learn from it. See what works, what doesn't work, and collaborate with others. One of the best things about Meteora is the community, the LP Army itself. We're here to help each other and learn. And so there's a lot of great people in the Discords and on X. So collaborate with others and you're like, hey man, where did I go wrong with this? Or what strategy are you using? And we have a lot of other resources out there. So this is the way. Don't just do it random. Okay, so one of the first things I want to talk about is being safe. Regcheck.xyz is one of the first things that you should be looking at a token before you decide to LP into it. This is available on every single pool. When you go to it, you click that little link, you can go to the rug check right there for every single token. And you want to make sure that it doesn't have any bad attributes, like it's mintable, can be frozen, or it's not sellable. Sometimes low liquidity can be an indicator of something that's not good. High ownership, copycat tokens, bad, stay far away from that. Here's an example of one that is danger. You want to stay away from this. A lot of these things, not everything in here all the time is necessarily bad, but you should take these with some warning here. Here's another example of one that you would probably want to stay away from. Single holder ownership 42%. That could be very bad. Anything above 20 can be very bad. So watch out for those kinds of things when you're using RegCheck. And there's also bubble maps. It's also available on every single pool for every single token. You can look at the bubble map and it's going to show you how the tokens are distributed across wallets. And we will show you here. This is an example of an even distribution of tokens. Each one of these bubbles represents a wallet. On the right-hand side, you can see how much of these individual wallets hold. You may sometimes see a little bit of a cluster. This one is not so bad. It's just tokens going between these wallets here, small transfers. This bigger bubble is we look at that and we see, okay, this is the liquidity pool right here. So there's quite a bit there. So that's not so bad. But here's one that looks kind of nasty here. This wallet is holding a lot of the tokens here, 95%. This one, very dangerous. I would stay far away from that because they're just going to rug you. And here's another, like, this is probably just is really terrible. All these wallets are clustered together, and they're just looking to rug you hard. So Bubble Maps is a handy tool to use to look at, at the distribution of tokens, how they're distributed, what are people doing with that. The other warning that I like to people to watch out for is something called wash trading. So it's fake volume generated by bots. And usually this fake volume gets routed through a very cheap pool. It may not ever hit any liquidity pool that you provide. They're just trying to generate this fake volume to get people to think, oh, this token is hot. Everybody's buying it. I want to get in on that. And frequently it's done on brand new coins, but it can happen on some older ones, and they're going to rug. Whether it rugs right away within an hour, sometimes it could even be days, but it's going to rug. And here's how you kind of look at it. We're looking at this right here, this unnatural volume, right? It's far too even and unnatural. And you even see spots where like maybe the bot stopped for a bit, right? Now, I have seen in rare cases, there be a token out there where it's heavily wash traded, but you can make serious money on it. But you have to be careful with this because it will rug eventually. General speaking, I would stay away from wash traded tokens. Okay, so now we're going to talk a little bit about finding opportunities in LP. One of the places that you can look is within our own LP Army Discord. We have some bots out there. You're looking for this channel here, these three channels, DLMM-Ops, Multi-Day Ops, and Metlex Terminal. You can use the help commands to get a list of the commands supported by the bots. The DLMM Ops bot, what we're looking at here is, it's going to give you the top 10, depending on how you define the command. But the simplest command is going to give you this right here, and you will get some information, the token pair. And if you click on these, it'll take you directly to the pool. It'll show you the bin step and the base fee for that pool, whether or not it's currently going up or down, the TVL, these kinds of things. Is giving you the information about that particular pool, so maybe you can make a decision on what you want to do. If it's got a green check mark next to it, it's passed some of the basic rug checks. I still recommend that you run your own rug checks on things, but this is just kind of like a quick check for some of that stuff. Multi-day, and multi-day means tokens that are good to do over maybe overnight or multiple days at a time. These are things that aren't necessarily going to rug right away. So it's a little bit different information on there, but it's the same kind of concept how it's been trending, this 6-hour price change, the bin step, the base fees, that sort of thing. And then we also have the Metlex terminal. And this is a bot that it's just showing you anytime a new DLMM pool is generated, it's going to pop one of these out. And this is a link directly to the pool. It'll give you the contract address. There's links to like GMGN, Ape, Jupe Pro, Rug Check, and so forth. A little bit of safety information here, whether or not that token is verified by Jupiter, if it can be frozen, if it's mintable, that sort of thing. Here's an example of one that doesn't look so good. here are some of these risks that it's giving you this from rug check information. So, watch out for some of those things. Again, always do your own safety checks, but these are some bots that'll give you some ideas on something to LP with. And of course, as I talked about earlier, the LP Army is a community, and it's one of the best communities out there. We help each other. We LP together. And one of the reasons for LPing together is if we can combine together and work together, we can attract more volume to the pools that we're LPing, which means more money for the LPers. In the LP Army Discord, you want to go to role selection and add the DGen role. And anytime one of our alpha callers creates a new token or tags a token like, hey, this is a good opportunity, you'll get tagged, and you'll see that in the DGen calls channel. There's the multi-day DGens channel where people are talking about long-term LPs. And the DGen-DLMM, this is one of my favorite channels. I hang out there a lot where people are talking about opportunities, strategies, things to do. This is a very good channel to hang out in. You can learn a lot simply by hanging out in this channel. But again, just because someone made a call or posted a token, don't assume it's safe. Do your own research, do your own checks. You're responsible for your own deposits. Okay, moving on. So talking about now one of our community tools created by Alex. He's one of our 3 LP Army leads. These are linked in Metlex.io is the name of it. And it's also linked in every single pool. It's got a lot of cool things, and I'm going to demo some of it for you now. But you can generate a P&L. You can see how many fees your wallet has earned on a very specific pool, and so on and so forth. I'm not going to go through this whole list. What I'm actually going to do instead is actually demo it for you. So let me bring that up. Perfect. So here we are on Metlex. Make sure that's showing correctly. Okay. So the first thing that I want to show you guys is the DLMM Top 100. And we've got some choices here. We could say the top 100 by today's fees. You can select any of these. I'm just going to stick with show all for now and sort by fees descending. I want to see the last 30 minutes because I want to see what's happening now. You can filter out. You can say only show me pools with at least $5,000 or whatever number you want in liquidity, and you click the little rocket to go. It's going to filter that, and so now here we have a bunch of different pools and token pairs. We will see at the top a direct link to GMGN charting, Jupe Pro 8 for both tokens, and then there's links to Jupiter and some other tools. You'll see today's fees, last 24-hour fees, the amount of TVL for this specific pool, and how much volume has been coming through this pool in the last 24 hours. And this is something that I am always looking at. Is there volume? If you remember, as I said yesterday, volume is king. You need volume in order to earn those fees. If you've got way more volume than you do TVL, then that's really good. So like this one, XBT, whatever that is, it's getting at least 4 times the amount of volume as there's TVL. We see the bin step and base fee. The market cap of this token, it's at 6 million. And some information about the price change over these periods of time and the volume. If you think this is awesome, you have links right here you can go straight to that pool by clicking app or by clicking Edge. If you're not familiar with what Edge is simply the test version of the Meteora app. It's The same on-chain data and all of that. It's just where the team is testing new features before they bring them into apps. So it's really your choice. It's going to work either way. So yeah, this is where you can go through here and look and see, okay, this one looks good, or like this one, not so good, right? There's not too many fees off of this one. The volume is just kind of so-so for this particular one. So yeah, you can do all these things and look at that. The next thing that I want to look at, and I actually want to copy the CA of one of these. So I'm just going to open this up, get the contract address real quick. Actually get that right out of the URL. Okay. So I'm going to go to Dex Legend. I'm just going to search for this contract address. And we wait. And it's not giving me any data for that token. Okay. Maybe we get a different one. There we go. Okay. So here it's showing me a little bit of safety information. It's not showing any immediate risks. You can check the bubble maps. Let's check the bubble maps, see what it looks like. Okay. So we see here a somewhat even distribution. You look over here, one of the key things that I'm looking at when I'm looking at the distribution is if you have a lot of wallets with the exact same percentage, especially on the top, that's a danger sign that it's bundled, and you probably want to stay away from that. And you can even play with the bubbles, move them around. But yeah, so anyway, you've also got rug check and all these things here. But this is what it's showing you is across the entire market. You'll see all the different pools for this one token out on. So you can see on Radium, there's one USD one, and then here on the Meteora DLMM, you'll see a couple different pools, different bin steps. We see an Orca pool. So what the point of this is so that you can kind of get an idea of what it's looking at like across the market. Maybe it will help you choose the correct pool for your token. If you see Meteora Dyne 2, that's dynamic pools or the DAM V2. Like this one, there's nothing in it, so that's not the way to go. But you can use this to scroll through and look at different pairs for this one token and what's the best pool to choose off of that. We have pools dgen. We'll drop the contract address in and go here. We see the art for the token, and it's just more of the same, but it's just the Meteora pools. So yeah, you're looking at all the different metrics here to see which one you'd want to go for. You see, for example, this specific pool, 501 in today's fees versus this one. Well, this one's obviously working a little better than this one. So I'd probably want to go over here, right? So that's what we're looking at. We're looking at all kinds of things. If a pool is empty, got nothing, no fees, no TVL, it's probably a bad pool, not a good choice. So I would avoid that. Next up is the super filter. So here we can choose, for example, a minimum bin step. I'm going to choose 20 for my minimum bin step. And the maximum bin step, I'm going to say 125. For the minimum base fee, let's just say 0.08. Well, it's not going to let me do that, is it? 0.8. There we go. And I'm just going to leave the max base fee as it is and the TVL as it is. Let's see what we come up with. So a lot of different choices out here. We see different token pairs. You'll see the estimated 24-hour fee over TVL. So yeah, there's a lot of different things you can do. And like I said, if you find one that you like, well, okay, let's just go ahead and click the link and off you go. It takes you straight to the pool for it. And you're rocking and rolling as soon as it loads. And there you are. So that is how that works. Excuse me. We have some other tools here on Metlex. There is the DAM V2 Telegram bot. So that's showing you, it's a link to Telegram. It's telling you whenever a new DAM V2 pool is created. Same with the DLMM Telegram bot. Anytime there's a new DLMM pool created, it'll notify you that way. And then Super App. Okay. All right, cool. Not seeing any questions. We're doing good here. So this is just kind of a live feed of tokens that have come out. You can show me the last 5 minutes. You can filter by category: top trending, top traded, best organic growth, various things like that. You can sort by newest first. So let me see that. See what's top trending. You can filter by or have it sort by volume, high to low, what have you. And this will just give you a place to look for, hey, this might be a good one to go after. You can always copy the contract address right there, pop it into one of the other Metlex tools to help you choose an existing pool. And here you even can see, are there some existing pools for it already? You can click right here, and it'll show you all the different pools. It's giving you the number. There's 21 DLMM pools, 2 for this one. This one is saying there's no pool that exists. You can create it if you want. I don't recommend you do that if you're just starting out. And then you can have it check for a DAM V2 pool to see if any of those exist. And there they are. So that is Super App. I recommend that you try it, play around with it, see what you think, see if this helps you find some good opportunities. A lot of information here. I'm not going to go through all of it. A lot of it is self-explanatory. So yeah, okay. So let me change gears here again. Okay, share. I actually want to answer this really quick. Photon, he talked about it here in a second, but which matters more, assessing about the numbers in the pool or looking at the chart and estimating where the price is going? In my opinion, they're equally important. If you find a token, the chart looks good, you like what it's doing, then you can go and select the pool that you think is best. And we are going to talk about selecting a good pool. But that's how I would do it. Or you can find a token, say you're looking at Metlex and you're just like, hey, this one looks like it's generating some money. Then go look at the chart and see is now is a good time. Is it trending down? Is it rugging? Is it pumping? Is it going sideways? You know, what do I want to do here? That's kind of like how you make those decisions over time. Okay. So I already talked about this. The Telegram bots, that's what it looks like whenever you go in there. The damn V2, you'll see this is what the Telegram notification looks like, links to charting tools, some information about it, and so on and so forth. And same with the DLMM Telegram bot. So now be warned that there's always new pools being created constantly all the time. So these can get a little noisy. So, you know, it's up to you if you want to use it, but it is a handy tool if you want to see what's hot, what's happening. Okay. So now we're going to talk a little bit about reading charts. I'm not here to teach you technical analysis. We're going to give you some tools and some things to think about whenever you are LPing and kind of how to make some good decisions on what it is you're doing. So let's go right on into this. Useful technical analysis indicators. You know, use the ones that suit you. Some of these we think are great or easy to understand. The MACD indicator, it's got these trend signals here. And I'll just zoom in on that here. The MACD line, that's the blue one. Whenever it crosses the orange line, that's an indication of what's the trend doing. So if the blue line goes under the orange line, then it's trending down. Whenever it crosses back up, then it's pumping, it's going back up. You'll see down here below all of these lines, the dark green is a solid, it's really pumping. Whenever it starts to turn light green, that pump is kind of slowing down a little bit. And conversely, a dark red is a deep dump or sell. And as it's starting to slow down on the selling, it lightens up a little bit. So this is just kind of giving you an indicator of which way it's going in that. And then the RSI indicator, this is a very simple one, really. When we look at it, you've got the 30 line, the 50 line, and the 70 line. This is the price action that it's happening. Generally speaking, whenever the price goes above the 70 line, that's usually an indicator that the token has been oversold and it may be time for a reversal for it to go back down. If it dips below 30, it may be oversold, and that could be an indicator that it's going to go back up soon. So it's not always true in every instance, but it's a way to kind of gauge a potential, if you will, if that makes sense. So yeah, so there's a question here in chat. When it comes to bid ask pool distribution, what's the point of it, especially if it's one-sided? For example, if the coin goes down, you're out of range, then you're just holding that token going down. Yeah, so I mean, I don't know if I'll answer this what you're asking, but you're trying to earn those fees on that dump, right? And you may be hoping that it's going to turn around and come back up to give you that positive divergence loss or the pump to get you back into profit. You can earn profit on the way down if there's enough volume, enough volatility, and so forth. So that's kind of the concept here. It's what a lot of degens are doing, is that one-sided soul, and we will show that to you here whenever we get to our strategies. Some more technical analysis indicators that we find very useful. This one is actually the type of candles and I may say this wrong, Heiken Ashi candles. Instead of the traditional candles that you may be used to, like on the bottom with all the little wicks on, or actually on the top, all these extra little wicks of that over time, this will trim them off and kind of show you, it's really to try and show you the trend. You can see here with all these little red cells and whatnot and these extra wicks, this trims it off and looks at it. You can see this is a trend up, and same with the down. Especially if there's no wicks, that's really giving an indicator this is selling off. You see in this top one here, we've got a little bit of buy, but the trend is still down. So it can be a helpful way to kind of gauge what it's doing. And then we have the volume profile visible range, or the VPVR. So what we have here is on the right hand side, you've got these yellow and blue bars. Yellows are sell volume and blue is buy volume. And the bigger the bar, the more volume. And so you may want to use this as, and how do I choose my range, my price range on this chart? Well, you want to go for the volume, right? So you may define, there's nice juicy volume here. I want to set myself up here. And maybe if it drops, maybe you want to set up in this other big section down here. There's not quite so much volume in this section here, so that may not be the best place to LP. So that's really how that works. And we'll show this to you in practice. And actually, we'll go ahead and do that now before we move to the next thing. Okay. So let's load up this token called Useless. This is a well-established token. It's been around. A lot of people use it for multi-day. And I am using GMGN. This is my favorite charting tool, and one of the reasons why I like GMGN over some of the others. I used to use Dex tools. Whenever you go to a Dex tools chart, it's going to show you the chart for that specific liquidity pool. GMGN, on the other hand, is an aggregate of the market, all of them together. So you can see what's going on throughout the market, not just the very specific pool that you are in. So we can see right here on the VPR, you can see all the volume is happening right here. This is where that's where all the action is right now. So this may be where you want to define your range. We'll see the RSI. And if you look at it, you can see here, it was going up and then there was a big sell-off and then it bounced. It dropped below the 30 line and then it came back up. And you can see whenever these peaks, it hits this top, goes above the 70, it comes back down. And then we see over here at the bottom, this last one, you can see where it crossed the lines and it trended what it's doing. Also, whenever you're looking at this, you can kind of tell by looking at the chart, but you could see the bigger these green and red things are, the bigger the pump or the bigger the dump. Okay. So now selecting a range. How would I do that? Well, one of my favorite tools to use is the price range measurer. I'm coming straight here and I'll select that. And let's see, I like this volume right here. So I'm going to click and I will go down to about right here. And this will tell me from the top of my range to the bottom of my range is only 4.25%. So that may be how you want to start paying this one. If you were doing two-sided, you would want to have that on both sides. Now, that being said, on a lot of tokens, I will have a tendency to go much lower, and that's to help protect myself if the token decides to dump. I'm going to look at a different chart to kind of give you a better example of that. Okay, so this one we can see there's a nice juicy pump going on for this. And I've got my little tool right here. There's not a whole lot of volume up here, but there was a lot of volume down there. And to select it, I'm going to go down. You can see about 70%. So that might be where you want to set your full range, especially if you go one-sided here. At whatever this top is, go all the way down to 70%, and it'll help cover all of that range. So that's how I would choose that one. A few other things about GMGN: you can choose the price in SOL or USD. You can also have it show you market cap instead. There's a lot of people that like to look at just what is the market cap. And even here on GMGN, it's going to tell you this particular one is 13 million market cap. To me, that's a well-established token. It's doing fine. You've got some degen audit stuff like mint, blacklist, that kind of thing. And up here, you'll see at the top the amount that the top 10 holders hold of this particular token is 15%. So not too worried. How much the dev holds, how many holders there are. If there aren't very many holders for a token and it's got kind of a higher market cap, that could be a warning sign. Insiders, phishing and bundlers, bundlers, that's not good. It's the token may be distributed to a bunch of the wallets all owned by the same person, and high bundles could be an indicator of a potential rug. So you want to watch out for that. And then one of my other favorite things that I love to look at is the price change over the last 1 minute, 5 minute, 1 hour, and 24 hours. You'll also see how much volume has happened over that period of time. And then here you will see the buys and sells, and then the net amount off of that. So in the last 5 minutes, the buys and sells, there's been 15K more sells than there have been buys. In the last 1 hour, there's been 15K more buys. And 24 hours, you could see 109K, 110K worth more buys and sells. And this is just constantly changing from minute to minute, what have you. So you can choose, I love looking at the 1 minute chart, especially on fresh tokens, or even the 30-second chart or the 15-second chart. See what's happening. What's the trend? This one, it looks like it's going in a bit of a sell-off right now, but we'll see here it's dropped below the 30 line, and we may start to see some buys happening on this token right here. So I wouldn't be ready to panic on this one. It looks like it's going to come back up. So I just like watching that, especially here on the net buy. If it's within 1 or 2K, then I don't get too concerned. Whenever you start to see that number really shoot up, then that's kind of giving you an indicator of what's the trend. I could spend all day on GMGN. I'm just going to cover a couple more tools. They do have bubble maps built in. It's not labeled. It's just this icon. Let's look at the holder bubble for this. And it's loading. So this is showing you all the different wallets and any of them that are connected. I can click here and see how much are in these individual clusters. 3%, 2%, 2%. This is not bad. I'm not really concerned about these. This could be just people moving money from one wallet to another. If it was a high percentage or a lot of them grouped together, that may be a warning sign for you. And they did hide, like this one is the Radium Vault. Let's look at that one. So that one, that does look dangerous, right? So I wouldn't worry about that one so much. You kind of have to know what you're looking at and pay attention on that. Okay. All right. So, all right. No pending questions. Okay. And then come down here to the trades. You can actually see what's going on. You can see who or what is being added to liquidity pools. But let's just look at the trades. You can see them happening in real time, the buys and sells and the individual wallets. And there's all kinds of little icons that'll tell you, is this a bundler? This is the first time they bought it. If it's a bot, where it was purchased. Like this was done on Axiom, this one was done on GMGN, so on and so forth. Scroll down. You can see any KOLs. What are they doing? You see an indicator. Maybe this person, they sold all the little sweeping broom. They sold all of their stuff. Sometimes I look at KOLs to see what are they doing. Like here's Ansem. He just sold $27,000 worth of this token, and that's probably this right here, that sell-off right there. Or no, actually that was a day ago, so never mind. We can look, what did the dev do? Smart wallets, if there are any whales. This is also something that I like to look at. What are the whales doing? But also the amounts, if they have big buys or big sells, or if this is just little things. These can also be MEV bots. Sometimes you'll see that, like this one right here, they bought a bunch and then immediately sold a little bit of it. Keep scrolling wrong. Fresh wallets, snipers, the top 74 holders, what they're doing. Insiders, bot degens, and bundlers, and this has got over 1,000 bundlers. So this is kind of like, you see what the different types of wallets are doing, and you can kind of get an idea. It takes time to understand what you're looking at over that, but yeah. So how would I select the range of this particular token? Well, I see here's the volume going. I see that maybe it's on a little bit of a downtrend right now. It may reverse because it's getting really close to this 30 line. But also looking back, I see a bit of a pump. There is some action going on. It's not insane right now. Just looking at the volume. And the volume, you have to compare it to the market cap, right? We've got 44, 48,000 in the last 5 minutes on 11 million. So this is not exactly what I would call a crazy runner, but this is getting a bit of volume. So if I want to select my range, I'm coming right here to the actual price and going down, and I can see a little bit here. Let me change to the 1 minute chart. Give me a broader look at this. So delete that. And I'm going to select this again. I see it's going down. I'm going to come down to here, and that's 25%. So maybe that's where I want to set my range. Just cover myself. Frequently, personally, I'll usually go even lower than that. If it's a fresh meme coin, something very new, what a lot of people do is they'll go all the way down 70 or even 90% on a pure bid ask, just to make sure that they're not going out of range and catch any pumps that go back up. We'll show you some other ones. Here's a nasty token that I looked at the other day, Saros. This rug check is absolutely terrible. And here's the chart for it, and you can see right here This is a clear, oh, let's let it reload here. Clear indicators of wash trading back here. You see this volume right here, that is not organic. That right there, that is a bot. And you can see right here, they shut off that bot and the token dumped right there. They rugged this thing hard. This token is 598 days old. So wash trading can happen even on old tokens. Here's another kind of indicator that you'll see right here within this chart. This quick bouncing up and down, up and down, up and down. That's wash trading. Now, if you look at a USDC, USDT chart, you'll see the exact same thing. That's not wash trading. That's just the token. Those two are worth about $1, so they stay within that range. That's how it is. But this is some other token that is heavily wash traded, and I would stay far away from that one. As you can see, they ramped it up and then it rugged. So watch out for that thing. Don't go into those. Okay. So I'm going to pause and see if there's any questions so far. And there are not. So I'm going to move back to my presentation. Okay, so now we're going to talk a little bit about strategies. And I see a question right here. Can't you exploit that wash trading since it's in a range? Sometimes, yes. If you can capture the volume in a pool, if that wash trading is routing through a pool, you can capture that volume. You can get fees. It's not always necessarily routing through that pool. I see rare instances where it does. I would just really warn you against that because, again, they can rug at any second, and they usually rug pretty hard. So do so at your own risk. So moving on, advanced strategies. This one is a one-sided spot plus bid ask. So we laid down a layer of spot here and then added bid ask in one-sided. But I left some room with no tokens above the current price within my position. And the idea here is that as this goes down, I'm earning fees in that other token. I'm buying some of it. And so what I could do is I can take those fees and I can compound it back into my position. And I threw it in as a bid ask because I want to sell these at a higher price. You can put it in as spot if you think it's going to range through that for a while. That'll earn you even more fees. But if you're just trying to sell it off, put it into the bid ask and you'll sell more of that token at a higher price. So that's one strategy. There's another one that Geek Lad calls the toothpaste tube. It's got a layer of both tokens. And just as you like, so he's got spot, and as you claim fees, you can put them in at a bid ask. And it's just the idea is that price pump, it's like squeezing the toothpaste out of the tube. Yeah. We are going to talk a little bit about P&L. We'll get there, guys. Patience. Now, here is the classic bid ask flip. This is what a lot of guys are using. I know a Turkish guy, Keklebek. He bought a whole car, brand new Volkswagen Golf, deal MMing with just bid ask flip. So the idea here is you get into the token, you put in one-sided sold only in a bid ask. After it's come down in the range, you withdraw and then put just
that other token back in a bid ask, so that as it pumps out, you're selling that token off at higher prices and you earn fees along the way. So, and this actually was a wash traded token, Deej, that I have in the example here. But the bid ask flip is classic. It works. It's what a lot of people are using out there. Here's the bid ask chill. A little bit more established tokens. You set your range really wide using bid ask only, two-sided. Just if you think it's going to swing a bit here, again, like we talked about yesterday, you're buying more of the token at lower prices and you're selling more of the other token at higher prices in the bid ask chill. It's just you're not having to manually flip anything here. Another solid one, especially if you're doing multi-days. One of my favorite tokens that I've done a whole lot of in multi-days in a really wide range chill was Uranus. And I just did pure spot on that. Just went really wide spot. And I just let it run through there over time. It earned fees for me. It was beautiful, and I would claim them and just let it go for a long time. Okay, now here I'm just showing you the power of stacking strategies, what you can do. You can make insane shapes with your liquidity. This is some of the quote art that I've made over time. That's just fun stuff, but you can really do insane things here. This one was the sinking sell both. I did a top curve blast, super dangerous. And then I was putting the fees that I earned off of that into a bid ask going higher. Another one of my favorites, the cowboy hat, is I actually did a curve, but then I cut off the size of that curve and put it into bid asks. These are not necessarily ones that I recommend everybody give a try right off bat, but it's just the point is that you can do really cool and insane things with your liquidity. So deep diving a little bit more into the bid ask flip. And I love this graphic. It's very simple. You wins strategy. Do this when price dumping. Do this when price pumping. Simple. Easy. Here's what it looks like on the chart. This was done a long time ago by a very famous goose named Chief. He looked at his chart and he said, okay, this looks like the place where we're going to have maybe a downtrend. So he opened a one-sided sold bid ask and he chose this range here. So this triangle represents that bid ask. As it went down, it hit this point. He's got 100% of the other token. In this case, it was Billy. So he withdrew all of that and he reopened that one-sided bid ask with just Billy. Once it reached the top of it, he withdraw and close and just made a whole bunch of money off of it. It's simple as that. Great strategy to use, guys. So impermanent loss. We talked about this a little bit yesterday. The question that a lot of people do have is, what do I do whenever I have encountered impermanent loss or I'm out of range? That's really the more accurate things. What do you do when you're out of range? Well, one, you can just wait. You can, if you think that token price will come back into your range, don't do anything. Again, whenever you withdraw, you're making your impermanent loss permanent. Another thing that a lot of people like to do is they'll open a one-sided bid ask below that price range and just hoping to capture enough fees as it's going down to offset those losses that you got from the top. Another thing is you think, hey, you know what? I don't think this is going to come back or come back anytime soon. They'll take that loss and reposition their liquidity in a lower range. And this is really dependent on getting enough volume down there. If you think you can capture enough in that new range to recover your losses, then you can reposition your liquidity. I have done this before. It does work. It doesn't always work. The important thing is capturing the volume and it's staying within your range long enough to do that. Sometimes quitting when you're ahead or quitting before things get really worse is the choice. It's better to withdraw at a 50% loss than a 90% loss. Get out and sell before it goes even lower. What happens sometimes is that people don't wait long enough. They'll panic and sell and get out, and then they'll watch later the price pump, and then they're just sad, right? But you can see here was some positions. These were all out of range, and we just opened that one-sided sold bid ask to try and capture some fees to offset all of those losses. So these are just some of your choices, what you can do when you're out of range. Okay, so what do you do with the fees that you earned? You have several options, obviously. You can claim them and compound them back into the position. It's usually just the one token that you don't want to keep, like I did with this one. Fees that I was earning off of this one, I just threw it into a bid ask because I want to resell those fees at a higher price. The other thing that you can do is open a new position and put those fees in, usually in a bid ask, at a higher spot. If it pumps, then it's going to sell your fees off at an even higher price and earn some extra fees along the way. Something else that you and I like to do this, especially whenever I'm not too sure it's a fresh token. I don't know what's going to happen. It may dump. I don't know if it's going to pump back out of my range. Sometimes whenever I've earned some money in fees, I will claim it and immediately sell those tokens, locking in those profits. If I don't, and it dumps even further, then the value of those tokens that I had previously earned in fees is now worth less. So I'll lock in my profits along the way as it's going down to ensure that I'm walking away with some profit and I'm countering some of my impermanent loss. Another option is simply just hang on to the token. If you think it's going to moon eventually, just hold it and just sell it. Don't even put it into an LP position. That's something that you can do. Okay. All right. So now let's do some LPing here. And I will just take a pause, check for some questions. Yep, we're going to go over P&L. And yeah, keyword here is lock in profit. Indeed it is. Okay. So let me change gears here, and I'll just bring Photon and Rich up here for a moment. Guys, you have any comments on anything that I've shown so far?
All good here.
Okay. All right. Let's get this screen share going. What happened? Sorry, guys. Having a little bit of trouble with my window here. StreamYard's giving me issues. There it is. Okay. So, I'm going to just look at pools here. And let's see. This one, dangerous. Stay away from that. That one, 7 warnings. That's a honeypot. We don't want that one. I'm going to talk about how to choose the right pool for, say, a long-term token, how to do it. Let's look at Launchcoin. This is a well-established token. I've got a lot of choices for the pools here. I'm just going to look at the top 3 recommended. So I know this token. I've looked at it before. It's been around for a while. It's not got a whole lot of volatility to it. So what bin step? What fee do I want here? Let's put the 20 bin step in the 0.2% at the top. It's got the 101 at the bottom. And you'll notice here the 30-minute volume, there's a whole lot more of it in this one. You know, when I first started LPing, I'm thinking, man, I want the highest fee. That's going to get me the most. Well, if you were to go into this pool, you're not going to get very much out of it because it takes a whole 1% in change of that price for even to come routed through there. And it's not guaranteed that you will. You're going to get more volume, you're going to get more trades, and you will earn more off of this lower fee. But you don't always necessarily want to go for the lowest fee. So what you have to understand as an LPer is making the correct choice based off of the token itself. How old is it? How established is it? What's the volatility? What's the volume? If something is extremely low market cap and really volatile and new, I'm going to want a high fee because the risk of rug is much higher or impact on price is much higher. I need to have a higher fee to select that. But anyway, let's go into the 22 on this particular token. Now, what I would do with this, I'm going to go ahead and look at the chart and see what it looks like. Okay, yeah, we're doing good here. This one is a $68 million market cap. So this is a well-established long-term token. I'm going to get into it. I'm going to look at, however, the 4-hour chart and see what's going on over time here. Okay. I can see there's a pump way back then in May. And then over time, it's kind of stayed in this area here. There's been some highs, there's been some lows. This is where most of the volume is. And this one, I would probably actually go two-sided with it. Select my range on the top. I think here is about where it's going to max out. That's at 92%. I may not want to go that wide. Let's look at, say, about 55. And then I want another. See how far down I want to go. It looks like this is the area where it would be, and about 45%. So I'm going to choose about 57 on the up and 45 on the down. So I'm going to buy just a little bit of this token for the demonstration. Okay, ready to add liquidity. And I'm just going to use autofill to give me a nice little balance of it. And I'll show you a stacking strategy on this. I'm going to do 50% of this in a spot. And I say, give me a positive of 57% and give me a negative of 45%. Okay, so that needs 530 bins to cover all of that. I'm checking down here, making sure that all of the cost here is refundable. Now, because I'm using such a high number of bins on this, you'll see that the amount required is much higher than just 0.01 0.05. That's the size for a 69 bin position. It goes up the more bins that you use, but you get the money back after you withdraw and close. And waiting on my wallet. And just executing the transaction using Jito bundles. And there we are. We've got this thing started. Now I want to put in the rest. And let's just use the bid ask for this on both sides. And there we go. Waiting. And whenever you have a high bin number and it's using these Jito bundles, sometimes it'll end up making a funky shape on your liquidity. That's just kind of like how it is. We're still waiting for this to finish. I don't know if I talked about this yesterday, but in the pools here, you'll see the trading volume over the last week or 7 days, I think. You could just see how much volume has come through here in that amount of time. With that, that's real handy. And we talked about here the community tools. You can see like this right here. Oh, that actually failed. This is a link to Metlex. And then this here is a link to a profit analysis tool by GeekLad. We'll talk about that one a little later. So let's see what's happened. Not all of the liquidity went in. I'm going to refresh the page. I do have my these set pretty low. So if I was using turbo or something, it may have landed a little better. Let's see what happened here. Okay, so it looks like only part of that went in. That's super cool. Going to uncheck that, put in the max amount of that into a bid ask. Don't add any more sol. And we're waiting. Sure, I'm going to increase this. Our PC is a little slow today, so that's what's going on. It can't be helped. Just check for questions. Let's see, just Gosha's joined us. Hey, Gosha. Thanks for coming, bud. Okay. Well, I don't know what's happening with that. I'm going to show you guys some other things you can do, different types of tokens and the strategies that you may want to use on that. Here is a Sol
and an LST token, Jito Soul. Let's take a look at that one. What's the choice here? Bin step and a 0.1. That's probably pretty good. We'll see the bin step 100. There's not enough price movement for this to choose that high of a bin step. Someone has put their money in here and made a poor decision. The bin step 8 is okay, but there's not very much TVL here, so it's really not a good choice. This is the one to go with. One bin step. And we can see the liquidity distribution. It's pretty tight. There's nothing out here really of significance. Most of the liquidity is within that range right there. I'm going to purchase just a small amount for the demo. Okay. So there's two ways to think about this. This particular token pair, because the price of Jito Soul is very dependent upon Soul itself. It's going, if Soul pumps, the price of Jito Soul is going to go with it, and same with the dump. So it's going to stay pretty close to each other. And you can look at the chart and see that. Okay, last 4 hours. Give it to me in Soul. Yeah, so they're kind of staying together. You have to keep in mind here. Oh, I'm looking at market cap. So what's the price of it here? 0.97 up to 1.3. Just give me all of it. Autofill, all of it. And so I'm going to say 97. This messed up. Let's go with the percentage actually. So let's figure out what that is. Okay. 15% and 6%. Reload. I think my internet's being slow. Okay. What did I say here? That's over the last 4 hours. Let me look at the last 1 hour. I'm going to go down. I'm going to go down 4% and up to 5%. So -4 and a +5. That's going to create a lot of bins. But again, remember, this is a one bin step pool. The difference in price here is very small. So keep that in mind. This looks like we're super wide position, but it's really not. And it looks like it wants to create some bin arrays here. So I'm going to rethink this. Maybe not go down so much, because I don't actually want to pay for bin arrays today. And we're still looking at paying bin arrays. All right, cool. Well, I'm going to take a risk here and do -1 and +1, 0.34. We'll add some liquidity. Now I'm going a little wider than what everybody else has. Or what some whale has done. But you could, if you wanted to, in this, especially if you think it's going to stay right here, this is a great opportunity to actually use curve. If you think it's going to stay right here or really close within this area, go right ahead and use curve. You're not going to get rich off of a pair like this. It's going to be slow moving. There's a ton of TVL in this, $17 million. And the amount of volume that's coming through here, this is 1.5 million. So there's, at its peak, top is 7 million. So this is not a fast moving pair, but it's also a pretty safe pair to LP with. Okay, so I hope that kind of makes sense to you guys. But now let's pick something that maybe is a little bit more risky. So let's look at the DLMM top 100 here on Metlex. Just show me all the rugs. What's going on out here? I see a lot of multi-days. Regret. Let's see if we can't regret something today. Let's check out this token. Okay, this token is 11 days old, so it's not that fresh. The market cap is only 392. So guys, remember with these lower market caps, it doesn't even have to be that big of a sell or a buy to have a big price impact on this token. And I'm not like this one here. This is a $1.4 thousand sell, and that was 9 days ago. It probably had a pretty big price impact on it, or right now we can see the trend. Some of these bigger sells caused this to start going down. And I don't actually like this token too much, the way it's acting, even on the 1 minute chart. Well, that's not the worst, but it's not the one I want. Let's see. Okay. Gosha, give me a rug, man. Something fresh. Let's see what this is. Hundred 47 days. I'm looking for something a little bit newer. I know what I'll do. Let's use a super filter.
And weekends are some of the worst times to pick anything because a lot of tokens are just not trading. You may not be having very much from this today. Let's see what this one's doing. Four warnings on this one, not sellable. That's a rug, so no thank you. We'll pass on that. Let's see what's happening in the Super App. And I'll tell you while I'm looking for a token, sometimes you don't need to force this. You should be looking for the right opportunities, and sometimes the best play is no play at all. If you can't find anything new, fresh, hot to do, then don't do anything, or move into a safer play, if you will. So let's see if we could find something that's kind of new. 4 months, 5 hours. Here's one called Hold. There's one pool. Let's go check that one out. It is a 100 bin step, 5 base fee pool. Now, if you remember what I was talking about earlier, selecting the right one. If it's a fresh token and it's really volatile and it's got a low market cap, you want a high base fee. And there is such a pools as 10% base fees. They do exist. They're only good for a very short period of time. If that token grows and gets a higher market cap, the price impacts are not quite there. Plus, as new pools open up with lower base fees, more competition, those pools working very well starts to die down, especially, also combined high bin step, those are going to be pretty low. So that's something that we want to look at. Let's see, Photon, he's got Photon. If you'll put that in the private chat, I might be able to copy and paste that one. This one, it's not great because there is almost no liquidity here at all, but we do see some dynamic fee going on, 6% off of this. So what I would do on this one, we're going to look at the chart really quick. It's 4 hours old. I want the 30-second chart. We see that there is a pump going on. It's going to reverse here. The volume is not insane on it, but there's a little bit. Our market cap is 130. It's pretty low. So buys and sells are going to have a big price impact on this, which means that this may pay off. So I'm going to put in a very tiny bit. You guys do not need to copy me on this. I'm just going to put in a very tiny bit for the demo in a pure bid ask. And I am going to go down. I'm not even going to look and measure how much on that chart. I'm going to do negative 75% on this, just default. 144 bins, add liquidity. And that's it. Now, I'm probably not going to get a whole lot of trades because this pool does not have much liquidity in it. But that's the very basic of what I would do with a hot, fresh meme, high fee and bin step. Usually bin steps over 200 aren't going to perform very well. They exist, but you may struggle with that. A lot of degens don't like those. A lot of them prefer 125 bin step or 100 bin step. They may like to go down to the 80. And if you get really degen, you can go down into the 20 bin step. And the 20 bin step, you can even have, you know, a 2%, 5% base fee. Those can be a little bit trickier to get the liquidity to deposit because it's swinging. You're having a lot of slippage. You just change your setting right here for that liquidity slippage if you're having trouble depositing. But this one is very simple, and we can see it's already pumped up out of range. I earned a tiny bit in Sol, but that one is actually a winner. Not really much of one, but I didn't lose anything. I'm going to draw and close that. And I'm going to copy the CA that Photon has given me, see what's going on. We'll try a different token out here. Drop my contract address in, and there's no pool. Well, that's too bad. Let's see, is there anything else hot going on? So XBT sold, there's 14 pools. We'll see this. The 100 bin step 2% is very popular, especially over time, you know, as the 10% and 5% pools stop being quite so effective. People will move to the 102s and sometimes even go lower, but don't get in a hurry to get to these. You kind of follow the TVL. That's my advice for you, is follow the TVL. Here, $238,000. That one's not bad. Let's look at the chart. Okay. Here I can see that someone just added liquidity. There's some buys and sells going on. 5-minute volume is $11,000. This is a $6.8 million market cap. So this is not, it's 128 days old. So this is not exactly like a fresh rug or anything. So this is maybe not the one that I want. Let me try this other one that Photon just gave me. Okay, Cancer. I did see this one earlier. What are the warnings here? Suspicious dev activity. Suspicious activity detected in this token's dev wallet. Well, Photon said this was risky, and it probably is. I'm probably not going to do this one, but what is the suspicious activity? I don't know. I'm actually going to pass on that one. Let's see what this one's all about. Okay, Moin Soul. All right. This is the 200 bin step. The base fee is 10%. Okay. Let's look at the chart. Okay, it's 15 hours old. And we'll see the price change here. So 10% pool, the last 5 minutes, there's only been a 6 to 7, 9% change in the price. So if I was in that pool, I'm not getting very many trades right now because it's not happening. I might get one as soon as it peaks above 10% or below 10%. But it is not quite as volatile, and that's partly because of the volume right now. It's a really low market cap at 131,000. We could try it, but the chart does look like crap. It's on a downtrend here. I can just see that right there. This is not a good one, really. But if I was to play this one, I would be using the bid ask only. I would not be buying this token at all. It would be pure bid ask, and I would go really down far on this. I would probably do a 90% on this one. Now, this is 200 bin step, so it's only going to require 120 bins to cover that much range. But there has to be a lot of price impact for it to move to the next one on this one. Knowing the age of this one, it may be time to move to a smaller one, but this is really just not that good of a token overall. So anyway, I don't know if I've really no token, no pull on that. All right. Well, like I said, there's not much to LP right now, nothing really hot, no quick runners. So I'm just going to not do it. We have some positions open on other longer term plays right now. I think that's the way to go. So we're going to actually move on to the next portion of the boot camp. All right. So now what we want to do is talk about how to monitor your positions and look at your P&Ls, see how it's doing. There are several community tools out there that can accomplish this. Here's one, this community tool called lp4fun.vercel.app. It's made by one of our Goose, Madx Bug. You can check the status of open positions, one or all of them, do multiple wallets, view a live ROI. Now, one of the things that this thing does is it calculates your ROI or return on investment in SOL or that token as a base currency. It does not calculate in US dollars. So I'm going to show you guys that real quick here. I can find the right one. Okay, so let's see if this wallet shows anything. Okay, so here's the positions that I created earlier. We see Launch Coin and Judo Soul. Here's an indicator where it is in the range. If I'm out of range, it'll tell me. Just lots of information on that. I can select it, and I can select multiple, and I can go and view the analytics on it. And so I can see the current value, net profit, how much I've invested. Some of these are not reporting right, but you can see some of this information live right here. So that's how this works. It's very simple. Just take your time to go and check that out if you'd like. Our next one to show you is Geek Lad Tool. He's not here with us today. This is linked in every single pool. It is to track your wallet profitability over time. You can have it show it to you in the quote token. If you'd like, you can see profit in USD and it says estimated Met fees, but that's no longer, or Met points. That's no longer a thing you don't want to. That's not a thing anymore so much, or at least the calculation is not correct. You can download your transactions and that's type of stuff. This does take some time to load. So if you use the tool and you enter your wallet address, it can take some time to load up. But you can also filter and tell it just a very specific date range. But the idea behind this one is that it'll tell you, you know, how you're doing over a period of time, you know, whether you're up, you're down. That is the point of this specific tool. And then we have Ultra LP, and we actually have one of the co-creators of that right here with us in studio. And hey, Rich, how you doing, my friend?
Hey, good to see you, Heavy. You're working
Yeah.
hard here.
Yeah, I'm trying, and you know, it's always fun whenever the market doesn't want to cooperate with you.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I'm actually going to pull up Ultra LP here. Just show what it looks like, and I can even give you the opportunity to share your screen. You can talk more about it here, but we'll just look at this one wallet here. Okay, so here we got some stuff looking not so hot today, but we see some profit and loss. You can choose Sol or USD. Here I've got $92 in profit on this one right here, or 0.38 Sol. Rich, you know what? I'm just going to let you talk here. You can guide me through whatever to click on, or if you'd rather share your screen, that's fine. This is not intended to be deep.
Yeah, I'm having a red day as well. Soul's kind of a little bit not behaving. Yeah, hey everybody. Thanks for giving me the chance to introduce the tool. I'm one of the team members behind Ultra LP. As you can see, this is an interface to mirror exactly what's happening on Meteora's portfolio, but on Ultra LP. So you can see all of your active DLMM positions. And here you've got heavy metals that's in 3 different positions open: useless, Sol, and troll. Like you just mentioned, you can see all of your profits and losses either in Sol or USDC. We take into consideration the prices of Sol when we're calculating your USDC earnings. And the big green number or the big red number is your overall P&L. And that takes into consideration things like impermanent loss that we mentioned a little bit earlier before. So within that fee, you've got your claim fees, unclaimed fees, all of your potential revenue, potential profits you're making, minus away some of the costs involved with impermanent loss. If you go into one of these detail pages like Heavy's just done, you can go in and see the minute details, everything from how much the value was when you entered, how much it's worth now, how many fees you have left unclaimed, how much you have claimed, and if you want to claim some, hit that button on the top right corner, claim fees. You've got your deposits and withdrawals, and it's all kind of listed here. You can also see it in a graph form if you wanted to track it. If you go down a little bit, right there is an impermanent loss and gain number, $91 right there. And what that means is how well are you doing because you LP'd? Now, in Heavy's case, because he decided to LP these tokens, he's up $91 in value. Now, if he hadn't LP'd, it would be no $90. I can go into more detail if you scroll down a little bit more here. We're almost at the end. Got the
That far?
wow, you've got a lot of bins here. Okay, this is a huge range.
Yeah,
Didn't expect that.
it is.
Okay.
It's 20
Um,
bin stuff.
20 bin step. Yeah, big range on 20 bins. That's a new feature of Meteora where you can open up to 1,400 bins, and Heavy's taking advantage of that. And you've got your pool information here if you're too lazy to go to Deck Screener or GMGN, like protocol fee, dynamic fees, the TBL. You've got the pool performance right underneath there. Keep scrolling. These are your GMGN feeds if you want to look at the 1 second chart, if you're crazy with the heart attack strategy in and out. And you can also see Sol, since a lot of these are quoted in Sol. You want to know where Sol is going as well. And this is my favorite part, which is impermanent loss. It tells you how much you entered, how many tokens you entered, what the value of those tokens are, of both tokens. So in this case, Heavy entered at 0 useless and 1 Sol. Now he's got about 0.55 useless and 1.5 Sol. So you can see that he's made something. And on top of that, the price of useless has dropped while the price of Sol has went up. So you can see how, it's hard to understand impermanent loss where you've got things moving up and down. This kind of gives you an idea of where they're at. And this feeds into that P&L card. And that's pretty much it.
Cool. Yep, it's a
Take it
great
away,
tool.
Eddie.
And yeah, and I want to point out all the tools that we've been showing so far are free to use and available. Now, Ultra LP, you do need to apply to get approved to get access to it. You can do that right on the website. How else can people get access to this, Rich?
You can message me directly. I check the website every other day. So same thing.
Right in the
So if you
Discord?
want to go it quicker. Yeah, right in the Discord. You can at me on the LP Army Discord and I'll get you set up.
Yep, Rich King. So look for him. So you can ping him there, and that's how you can get access to Ultra LP. So yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, good luck, guys.
Yep. Okay. All right, moving on. And the last one that I wanted to show is LP Agent. So you can check the status of your open positions, see it live, and you can also see old historical positions. A lot of tools don't do this. Some will do this eventually, but this particular one, let me pull it up. And that's the wrong thing. I didn't want to show that one. There we go. Go back to this one. And here we go. So we can see here, you'll see like my total net worth of this wallet, how many positions I have closed over the last day, week, month. You can track here like 3 months time. This is how much it's done. The last 7 days, that information there. And it's also going to tell you like your average amount that you're investing or LPing at a time, total profit, what it's looking like for you. Here's our 2 open positions that we have on this particular wallet. It tells me what my unrealized P&L is. If I have any uncollected fees and collected fees, the value, how long I've been doing it. If I click on here, or if I click on it, it's going to show me a lot of that information. It's going to show me my position and how it's distributed, how I set it up, and just
claimed, unclaimed fees, how long you've been in it. That's the idea. But you can also come down here and you can see historical positions. So here's one that I did some time back. I can see everything that I did with this token, the logs with it, how much I earned over time. So this is a great way to see how you're doing over a period of time, and just tracking your live positions and your old positions. So it's just another one of those tools out there. So yeah, those are things that you can use to track how you're doing. Okay, now here's one of the best tools that you're going to find. All the tools is lparmy.com. You will find past boot camps. This one will eventually be there. Translations into other languages, Chinese, Russian, Portuguese, Spanish. We've got translations out there. You'll find advanced boot camps where we're covering various topics, alpha collars, creating pools, DAM V2, and more. Strategy guides. Again, our vetted community tools, some of our global communities, and lots of helpful links. So lparmy.com, if you're not using it, you should be. Okay, guys, so now here's the part that a lot of you have been waiting for. This is the QR code for the graduation form. Please scan this now. We do not share this anywhere. We want you to take the course and you'll find it here. Normally, I only keep these forms open for 1 week from the end of this session, but I have vacation coming, so I've opened it up for 2 weeks for you guys. This form will close at 4 p.m. UTC on Sunday, October the 5th. After the forms close, then I will begin the grading process. I will not be grading before that. Here's what you've got to do. And all the instructions are in the form, but I'll go over it. You open one new DLMM position. Don't open two. It's only going to count one. Anytime between today, September 21st, and October 5th. So if you want to open one on the 27th of September, fine. Anytime in that date. Any positions that you submit from that are earlier than September 21st will automatically be rejected. You have to LP a minimum of $100 worth of assets. So any combination, it could be single-sided, you could do two-sided, it doesn't matter. The total value of all the tokens when you deposit needs to be worth at least $100 US. You cannot use a stable pair, and it's not likely that you would even graduate on a stable pair, but USDC, USDT is not going to work. Two tokens that are two forms of the same thing, such as CB, BTC, and WBTC, that's not going to work. Or SOL and a liquid staking token. So we can't do those. You have to LP for at least 1 hour. You have to close the position, and you have to show at least 5% profit. That's not just 5% in fees. You need 5% in profit. So you have to account for any impermanent loss, cover your impermanent loss with fees, and have 5% worth of profit on top of that. Now, there's a lot of third-party tools out there, HawkFi, MetEngine, Copy Trading, that help manage DLMM positions. We don't allow that for graduation. We want you to show that you've mastered the DLMM on your own. And so we don't allow those third-party tools to be used for this. You're going to raw dog the DLMM. And you have to complete both days. As I mentioned before, in the very beginning of this course, you have to pass day 1 and day 2 in order to graduate. If you pass day 2 and you don't pass day 1, I'm so sorry. You can try again, but you got to complete both. If you have the bootcamp trainee role or passed a day 1 from a previous bootcamp, you don't have to do this Bootcamp's day one again. But if you're not in that situation, you got to do this. Okay. All right. So I think we've had that up plenty of time. I don't know if there's any questions, but we're happy to answer them. I'm going to move on to the next part. Now we're going to talk about how to create those really cool P&L cards that everybody likes to see. We're going to show you a little bit on how to do that with SoulScan. Really simple. You enter your wallet into soulscan.io. You click on the DeFi Activities tab. You find the transaction where you entered or added or removed liquidity. You want to copy the signature, also known as a transaction. You can also search by a transaction ID. And I'm actually going to show you this, and we're going to use Metlex to create said thing right now. So here we are. I've already searched for this wallet. I went to the DeFi Activities tab, and we see here, I'm going to go and look at an older transaction. And so we see here, remove liquidity and fees off of this one. I'm going to copy right here, and I'm going to go to Metlex. And it's going to default to the P&L tab. So I'll just go in here and paste my transaction and click the rocket. Now, when you're going to graduate, don't copy the link from Metlex into your form. This is how you can check to see how well you've done. It's going to tell you any deposits that you have, your withdrawals, any fees you've claimed, and so on and so forth. And it's going to tell you what your P&L is. And you see, I'm going to scroll on down. Here is my one. I won an entire 1 penny off of this after 4.5 hours. I hope that all of you have a much better P&L. This is just an example that I did. You have your choices of different backgrounds. This is a brand new one that just dropped. If you're in a loss, this card will change. It'll look not so nice on it. See if I can't find a losing transaction here. That wasn't a loser. Goodness. Let's see if I lost on this one here. Click go. And so this here, if you're already LPing for a year, do you have to do the graduation task? You're not required to do this graduation task. If you want the LP Army private role, then yeah, you do have to do it. But you know, that's up to you. It's not going to get you an airdrop or anything. But if you want to be able to show your mom how cool you are because you're an LP Army private, then that's what you got to do. Okay. Well, looks like that one was not a loser either. Anyway, you have a lot of choices what you can do with this card. You can then copy it, download it, do whatever you want with it, show off how cool you are. You can have it show a percentage instead of the amount. There is a right here in the middle, the Bootcamp checker. It's checking for third-party tools used. Was the initial deposit at least $100? Do you have a 5% P&L? And is the total time? So you need to be checking this before you submit your transaction. Don't submit this Metlex link. Submit the transaction or the signature. Yes, if you submit a transaction that is older than September 21st, it will be rejected. You must do a new position. So anyway, Now, one thing that you should know here is, let's say that you wanted to do a mixed strategy. Let's say that you decided, I want to do a spot and bid ask position, $50 of spot and $50 of bid ask. As long as you get those two transactions in within a couple minutes of each other, initial deposit, we will count it. If you wait too long, if it's 15 minutes before you get that second deposit in, it's not going to count. So I hope that makes sense. You can use a stack strategy on this. It just, you've got to have that minimum of $100 for the graduation in within a couple minutes of each other. So there you go. So yeah, that's how you generate the P&L on Metlex.io. Okay. Let's see what else we got going on here. So questions, time for the questions, and we'll look here. Yep, I feel you on that. But it is how it works. If you want to graduate, that's what you have to do. What's the difference between Radium and Meteora? Well, it is definitely a different UI, different fees and whatnot. One of the things that really sets Radium and Meteora apart is Radium, their flat, one of their products is, it's a CLMM, so you cannot shape your liquidity. It doesn't have dynamic fees. Whatever the base fee is on that pool, that's what it is. It's not dynamic. I'm sure there's a lot more other differences, but, and I'm not here to rag on Radium. There are a lot of significant differences, but that's probably one of the biggest ones, is the ability to shape liquidity and things like dynamic fees and what have you. So, see, we're a little bit over on the time, actually. So what we're going to do now is thank all of you for joining. I'm going to bring up the rest of my instructors who have all been here helping out today in the chat. Photon Magic, Gosha, and Rich King. I appreciate all of you guys coming and helping out today. If people have additional questions about Bootcamp, we will be starting up the Bootcamp stage in the LP Army Discord a couple minutes after this class ends. Come join us, ask your questions, and we will do our best to help you. And I thank all of you for joining. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to go ahead and end it. Again, thanks for coming, and we'll see you soon. Good luck.